Alright, here we go guys. Here's question 3 on our adding and subtracting mini assessment for SSI. So, Laura has 1 3/4 feet of blue ribbon on one spool, and 2 8/12 feet of red ribbon on another spool. She used ribbons from both spools to make bows for her friends, and had 2 1/4 feet of ribbon left over. How much ribbon did Laura use? So then I'm looking at this question, how much did she use? That could mean a couple of things. Either they're going to tell us parts that she used. She used this part, she used that part, and then this would be my total amount that she used. Or I could have a total amount, and then there's some leftovers, and so then this is like, how much did she use? So we don't really know if this use means that I'm combining or I'm separating, so let's go back and let's see what they tell us. So, it tells me that she used ribbon from both spools. I'm looking for that fact right away because it tells me about what she used. She used ribbon from both spools. Oh, both spools. Oh, here's this fact up here. There's 1 3/4 of blue ribbon and 2 8/12 of red ribbon. So she used both of these. So right away, I know that I've got 2 parts here. I've got my red ribbon and I've got my blue ribbon. And together, I'm going to put them together and I'm going to get my total amount of ribbon. So red ribbon 1 3/4 and blue ribbon 2 8/12. Now wait, you might go ahead and just try to add these together and stop there, but that would give me my total amount of ribbon. My question doesn't ask for that. It doesn't ask for the total amount of ribbon. How much did she use? She didn't use all of the red and the blue. It said she had, oh, don't forget this important fact right here. It said she had some leftovers. So once I find my total amount, then I have kind of like another part to my strip diagram. I have my total amount, and she's going to use some, and she's going to have some as leftover. Well, this is what I'm actually looking for. What does she use? And they tell me the leftovers. They tell me that 2 1/4 feet are my leftovers. So first I got to figure out my total amount of ribbon, and then I've got to get rid of these leftovers to see how much was actually used. And so I'll tell you this, if you did not draw a strip diagram, chances are you probably went ahead and picked B, because you probably just added all of these together. You didn't really know what to do, and so you went, oh, I'll just go ahead and add them, and thought that there was a bunch of different parts. I'm just using all of it. But using blue and red and the leftovers really doesn't make sense for adding it all together. And so those of you that did not draw a strip diagram, you very well might have picked B, and that was not the correct answer. So be careful on that. Okay? And so going back now, and I'm looking at my strip diagram, I'm going to go ahead and put these two together, my red and blue together, so that I can figure out my total amount. So 1 3/4 plus 2 8/12. Well, I can go ahead and add my whole numbers. 1 and 2 makes 3, but can I add 4ths and 12ths? I sure hope you're saying, no, Miss Dela Cruz, you sure cannot add 4ths and 12ths. And knowing over here that I need to make my list of multiples. So if I'm making my list of multiples by 4s, counting 4, 8, and 12, oh, all of a sudden already I know, here's my common denominator, and I'm going to turn 3/4 into 12ths by counting 1, 2, 3 times. So 3/3 equals 9/12. Now, some of you are still going ahead and trying to say 8 twelfths times, well, I only counted once, Miss Dela Cruz, 1 over 1. Guys, that doesn't change your answer. You're not going to change your fraction. You're just going to get 8 twelfths. You don't need to do that. So when I go ahead and put my 9 parts and my 8 parts together, I get 17 parts out of 12. I don't add my twelfths. Twelfths and twelfths still gives me twelfths. Oh, wait. I know. There is a whole number in there. 12 out of 12 is inside 17 out of 12. 12 out of 12 is a whole. So let me think. 12 and then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. That is 5 extra parts. So it's really 1 and 5 twelfths. So when I add my 3 wholes and my 1 whole, I get 4 and 5 twelfths. That is my total amount of ribbon. Now, don't get too excited. You see how you see D right there, 4 and 5 twelfths. If you picked that one, you stopped too early. All you did was added the red and blue ribbon together and probably got so excited that you saw your answer because you were probably a little tired at this point, and you got tricked because you didn't draw this strip diagram and go back and think, is that answering your question? 4 and 5 twelfths, is that how much ribbon she used? No, that's the red and blue ribbon combined. So you stopped too early. Uh-oh, stopped too early. Stop early. Bad mistake. Draw your strip diagram. So now that I know that 4 and 5 twelfths is my total amount of ribbon, I can take away my leftovers, but I have to turn it into an equivalent fraction. So again, I go back. You've already found a common denominator with fourths and twelfths. Oh. Ooh, I almost got myself confused. I almost thought that I was supposed to turn 8. I almost got myself confused there. Okay, I did already turn fourths into twelfths. I found that common multiple. Okay, common denominator. So I need to now turn 1/4 into twelfths. So I go over here and I got 1, 2, 3 parts. So that equals 3 out of 12. So once I change that to 3 out of 12, 5 parts take away 3 parts is 2 parts out of 12, and 4 holes take away 2 holes is 2 holes. So 2 and 2 twelfths. I see that as an answer choice. Let me look over here at 4 feet. Oh, that's way too long. Way too much. No way can I, if I have 4 and 5 twelfths as my hole and I'm taking away more than 2 holes, there's no way that I'm going to have 4 holes left over. And that right there is my answer, A. If you picked 4 holes, either you made a mistake or you probably added your blues and your leftovers, forgot about the reds. That's probably what you did. Or you just, again, you made a mistake, got confused, didn't draw a strip diagram. So, if you got this question wrong because you're listening to this video, then you need to make sure that you draw this strip diagram. You need to be able to show that you've made your common denominator, found it with the list of the multiples. You've made your equivalent fractions, and you have your 2 different equations.